Buffaloes and bunnies. Weather report for May 18th, 2022. And the wiener is out, according to Germania. The weenie is out.
Oh. Hello, Germania.
Ger's here. I wonder if I should send him an invite. Does it make any sense to keep sending you invites when you never show up?
Yeah, he never does.
What's your
He's getting
response?
a big head from all his, channel activities. And now he doesn't think he's good enough for us.
Right.
Or he thinks we're not good enough for him.
Anyway, Ger, what's your response?
What is your response?
Biblically, I keep sending you invitations and you never show up. What's your response?
Biblically.
You're
biblically busy.
You've heard that guy, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, biblically, blah, blah, blah. What's your response? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. It surprised me. Anyway, so you went on SFT's channel and he was disproving evolution again.
Well, I didn't go on. I was just in the side chat.
Oh, you were just side chat. Sal Cordova disproved evolution by cherry picking Lewontin and Michael Lynch and Kunin. That was pretty good.
It's like they're disproving evolution each week. So I don't understand why all these scientists keep, pushing this religious nonsense all the time.
Well, they have a faith commitment to evil.
I know.
I think I have a little email here that explains what we're supposed to be doing. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can put it in here.
We know what we're supposed to be doing.
What we're supposed to be doing. Okay, now I got this from, who the hell is this from? I think this is, can I click in? I don't know. What if you could reach millions this year with compelling evidence they and our universe were intelligently designed? Let's see, YouTube channels received more than 60 million new views. When? Since January. Okay. Anyway, their Secrets of the Cell, long story short, Science Uprising, PragerU, Stephen Meyer, Michael Behe, they're asking for $25, $50, $100, $300, $1,500, or the President's Circle, $5,000 or other.
Ooh.
They have an other in case you want to donate more than $5,000. And anyway, I got this from, let me pull it up. This morning in my email, and it's basically talking about how incredible YouTube is for getting the truth out there about intelligent design and reversing all of this horrible science that they've been teaching us in school. Because I mean, it's criminal how much they're teaching us at school. Let's see here. Comparison. Let's see. Love, are you a foreigner? Oh, yeah. How to destroy the media's lies about science. The John West Center for Science and Cultures. Anybody heard of this one?
Never.
Yeah. So let's see how.
In other words, propaganda groups.
Yeah.
Creationism is mere propaganda.
Oh, let's see. That ain't going to work. What am I going to do here? Maybe.
David McQueen, the cracker guy? Is David McQueen the cracker guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Luca
is debating
Dr. Crackers.
Oh, really? Who is?
Luca Medugno.
Oh, okay.
Medugno. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, Luca.
Yeah. So, dear Mike, if you could neutralize media's promotion of atheism in the name of science, would you? You know the kinds of things I mean. Hollywood films popularizing multiple universes to avoid intelligent design.
Whoa! Do not try to propagandize my Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, look at this. This is horrible. Journalists treating atheist scientists as objective.
They're treating scientists as objective. If you're a scientist, you're going to get treated as a scientist. If you're a propagandist disguising themselves as a scientist, hopefully you won't get represented.
Yeah. In short, the media is depriving people of hope by pushing materialism in the name of science.
Funny how they say that, and yet most evolution-believing people are still faith-based.
Yeah.
Religious, I mean.
Right. Become a movie producer for Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture. Together we can... Are they going to donate money to... oh, my God. I think they're going to donate this money to YouTube creators. Like...
no.
Oh, yeah. Now we reach millions. Okay. Our Science Uprising series has been watched over 7 million times.
I wish we could find a donor who would donate $5,000 in rolled pennies, but only the first 10 and the last 10 of each roll are pennies, and the middle part is just little slug, little flat washers.
It's funny how they always accuse people like us as spouting arguments from authority when, as you can see here, they're like, oh, look at how many subscribers I have, look at how many views we've got, etc. I don't know. It's just so hypocritical.
Argumentum ad populum.
Yes.
I can share this with many people who will be able to grasp the presentation. This is great content. I'm going to send it to my unbelieving family. My 14-year-old daughter loves these. We watch them together. Oh, my God.
IMAX needs Jesus.
Okay, I figured it out.
If you don't add that little Christian element to each and every single IMAX film, it's not going to be popular.
I figured it out. They're not actually going to donate to other YouTube creators. They're going to take it for their own video productions. That's
probably.
Oh yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, guys.
Something tells me it's going to work to some extent.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, and look how many views they're getting compared to the 100 views that we get. So we're just not. We're not going to be able to stop this tide of ridiculous nonsense anytime soon. So I don't know.
Hey, you don't see us giving up, do you?
Nope. Scott, you had a thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yesterday I discovered a different category of YouTube video, which was a splicing together of different TikTok posts. I guess you post a TikTok or whatever. Or is it a tick or do you call it a talk? I don't know. I'm a dad, so a granddad, so I'm not supposed to know what this is. But the general title of these things is something akin to this: Americans living abroad. First time you realized America really messed you up. And the link, I guess it's in the description by now, is part one of a series in a particular TikTok collecting channel on YouTube. And it really revealed to me, made a strong impression, because these are voluntary, I'm just going to use the word testimonials, but statements by different young adults. A lot of them are childbearing age. A lot of them are students in college, but they're either living abroad to work, to study. Maybe they live in the United States now, but in the past they spent some time in a foreign country related to Europe, usually. Although some of these videos will feature like Chilean or Ecuadorian people. So, and it made me come to the conclusion that our gun culture, as well as our health system, has really traumatized our young adults who grew up in the era of mass shootings. You know, as I was growing up, we had a couple mass shootings when I was a kid, but not, for one thing, I can't remember one. There was one before. Well, I was young enough to not remember this, but the shooting was it in Austin? The guy in the tower who
tower, yeah.
And there was that. There might have been one or two more things. As an adult, I remember, like, the first mass shooting I really remember was like a post office thing. I think that happened during my high school. So there were two that I can remember, versus like we've had 198 qualified mass shootings in 2022 alone.
Yeah, that was the post office one was where the going postal expression developed that first.
Going postal is.
But I remember the one, the Texas Tower one. I was like, I think 16 or 17 or something like that. And my sister-in-law was in one of the buildings and she could see the puffs of smoke and she was telling us about it. And it was like, so, I mean, that happened. That was like the first big mass shooting. And that was creepy because he had like this advantage on people and he kept hitting people over and over again. But I'm at the point where going to the grocery store, I'm traumatized about that because it's any ordinary grocery store. Some guy could walk in and start shooting, and
grocery store, movie theater, of course, nightclubs.
Movie theaters really bother me because you can't see.
And there's no way to really get out.
Right. Don't they have the door locked though?
Huh?
Don't they have the doors locked though?
I hope they do now because they used to allow people. Okay, at the front of the movie theater, there's an emergency exit, and if you go out like that guy in Colorado did, you can block the door with something so you can get back in. So he went out the emergency exit, and no alarm rang, and it should have rang, and then he put something in the door. He went and got his guns, and he came back in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's. When you're in a theater, you're really not in a good position to fight back, even if you're armed. And of course, me and my friend are always armed to the teeth when we go to the theater. But even then, it wouldn't help you because he had armor on, and you'd almost have to walk up to him and put your gun between. I mean, there's no defense against this. Like, it just I don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
Everybody go to Icarus's house. Apparently, he's going to put us up. Because they don't have mass shootings or anything.
This episode has got.
Let's go to Icarus's house. He's saying, come to Germany. We don't have mass shootings or weapons. That's an invitation, isn't it?
Can I bring my 9 if I come to Germany?
Yeah. How do you bring a personal firearm into Germany?
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that part. It's just getting the money for the flight out there, and then I guess you can just live as a bum somewhere until you get a job. But anyway, so what this video does is it has testimonials, and there's actually more extreme and more hard hitting clips out there because this is like one of a 6-part series, and there's at least 2 other 5 or 6 part series about how the things in America have really messed people up, and they don't realize how bad until they get into Europe or to the other country and realize that let's say you go to Ethiopia, their healthcare system provides more for their people than ours does for us.
Yeah. That's
like one of the poor countries in the world that used to have famines all over our TV screens and in the Time magazine and National Geographic. Even Ethiopia outdoes us with healthcare. But there's also other things. So you want to play a couple of these clips at the different timestamps. The first one is 2:37.
Well, I have it at 2:35. Let's try it out.
Okay, so I live in New York now, but I used to live in England. And one time I was out at this bar with my friends, and these 2 cops walked by. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, I wonder why there are cops out right now." And I looked at the cops, and I got really confused. And I was like, "Those are cops?" And my friends were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "They don't have guns." And everyone was like, why would they have guns? They were like so aghast at that question. And I was realizing in that moment and learned that guns, there are so few guns in the UK. It's such not an issue that like the everyday cop does not carry a gun. And there are houses in America that have seen more guns in them than a fresh vegetable. It blew my fucking mind. I think about it all the time.
Than a fresh vegetable.
I hate guns so much. I hate guns so much.
If you're an American.
Okay, so 328 was your next one, right? So.
Currently living abroad. What is one time that made you realize that America really?
Okay. In the U.S., I could not let my 11-year-old son go outside and play by himself. Someone would call the cops or something would legitimately happen to him. And so there was no way. And when I moved to Germany, my husband, who's a German national, suggested that he go outside and play by himself.
What?
Because we would not have to worry.
If you're an American...
Way to get rid of your kid.
Well, even when I was growing up, we would go out and play for hours unsupervised.
Yeah.
I was all over the neighborhood, digging in the mud. You know, I'd come back basically around supper time, and Mom knew I would. And
no, I just want to point out that where I lived, we would go out and play when I was like 9 years old with our 22s, with our rifles, with our guns. And nobody ever got murdered. Nobody ever got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, you know. It's like, so it isn't just guns. There's something else wrong with us.
Right.
Badly fucking wrong with us. And it's like, because I mean, you know, they gave us our guns and we go out and play, right? We go shoot fucking squirrels or something. I don't know.
Why would you want to shoot squirrels?
I know I hate myself for having done that when I was a kid, but it was a
well,
thing.
you can eat squirrels if you
yeah,
cook it right.
Yeah, well, our parents made us mad at squirrels because they were all farmers. So farmers hate squirrels, hate raccoons. I feel bad about that to this day, but I didn't shoot all that many. I like shooting bottles. I don't know, because bottles they go. It's cool when you shoot a bottle, right? Not cool when you shoot a squirrel. It just makes you kind of sick. Anyway, okay, next one. Next
you
clip.
Shoot a squirrel, they go nuts.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, so what was your time? 354, I think, is the next one.
Yep.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really...
So I didn't realize this until I moved abroad, but Americans have a very strange concept of freedom. Like when you're growing up, you're always told that America is such an amazing place and, you know, it's free, home of the brave. But like I keep hearing these criticisms from people like, oh, yeah, but America has the most freedom. Wow, yeah, freedom. I mean, there may be a few exceptions or nuances, but in the UK, you're still free. Like that is the biggest lie that Americans are ever told, that there aren't other free places. Like I don't understand. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I feel like the concept is kind of destroying American democracy. How ironic. Like they need to kind of understand that they need to work on things to make themselves better and more free for their citizens.
American currently
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's very thought-provoking, that's for sure.
Yeah, and our freedom is it's contingent. You know, I mean, any legislation at any time could turn us backwards 40 years, like, for instance, the Supreme Court. So
freedom is a brand of fried potato. Freedom fries.
Freedom. Oh, it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you get mad at the French, you just start calling your fries freedom fries.
Yep.
That happens every few years.
So the next one's at
freedom fries. You'll be free from the French.
455.
Let's try this.
Made you realize that America really messed you up.
Okay, so I'm not currently living abroad, but I did live in Australia for a few months. And one night while I was there, I got a little bit too crazy and I ended up on public transportation without a phone. And I had to find my way back to my apartment and I got lost. And while I got off the tram to get onto a different tram to take me home, a middle-aged gentleman came up to me and I immediately went into attack mode and I was like going to kill him. And he was like, no, I was just going to tell you which tram to take to get back to Preston. And that was when I realized that in Australia, I didn't need to be afraid. Like, granted, take precautions, but I didn't need to be afraid of every man.
I've heard some serial killer stories from Australia. And take it with a grain of salt.
But in America, I still am.
If you're an American.
Okay, so 547. Ready for another one?
I am ready.
Currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America?
So I don't live abroad anymore, but for half of 2018, I lived in Germany, and I have so many stories. The town that I lived in had like a main plaza area, and there was a cafe in that plaza. So a couple of my other American friends and I decided to try it out one day, and there was a construction site nearby. We heard a really loud bang, and, we kind of assumed that someone had fired a gun. And so we ducked for cover, and then we were looking around frantically, trying to find a place that we could run to or hide to get out of the situation. And then we realized that no one had shot a gun. No, it was a loud bang from the construction site. That's it. That's all it was.
So, yeah. People are traumatized.
Yeah. Especially, I've not seen on a map where the mass shootings are concentrated. Well, there's the mass shootings, and then there's the everyday shootings from crime, which have gone down, I believe, except for some wiggles here and there. But we've created a culture and traumatized our younger generation, and
the town I live next to,
and called it freedom.
The town I live next to is now called Murderapolis, Minneapolis. They are really, really doing well this year as far as murders go. They're about to set a real record. I think they've almost exceeded a record, and the year's not even half over yet. So
I love it when people try real hard and meet a goal.
Oh yeah, they try hard.
It's terrible that we have to joke about this, but that's kind of the reality of the situation at this point, isn't it? That makes it even worse.
Yeah. Yep.
I got here, I wasn't feeling too well, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor recommended that I get an EKG, an electrocardiogram. Instead of worrying about my health, my first reaction was, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can get one of those because I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it. And this sweet little man, sweet, amazing doctor goes, did you not pay the $20 when you got here? I ended up getting a regular EKG, a 24-hour long EKG, a blood test, and a freaking checkup for $20. Best part of this entire situation is that I am getting better, and I am getting the medical attention I need without going broke.
What is one time that made you realize that?
Okay.
A bit of a drama queen, I would think.
Yeah, a little bit.
But still, it's a good message.
Where the hell am I at? 734? 735.
I think so.
Yeah, the next
America
one.
really messed you up.
I pride myself on being an American. I didn't make it out before COVID, but I went to Norway, and I fell in love with Norway. Read about it, researched it, and I was like, I've got to visit first. And I only went for a week, and it was for the Infernal Metal Festival. And for the first time in my life, I was actually called an American. They didn't assume where I was from. And there was this beautiful Norwegian elder, and she says, "God påske." And I said, "Beklager, jeg snakker litt norsk." And I said, basically, she said, "Happy Easter." And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't speak a lot of Norwegian." And she goes, "Oh, you're an American." And she didn't worry about her purse. She didn't look at me sideways. And I cried. I cried when I left because for the first time, I was able to be just an American. I didn't even hardly drink, didn't do anything crazy.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time?
Shit. Okay. 931.
Yep.
Abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you?
So I moved to Germany in 2018 as a study abroad student, and I had a nice apartment that was on the ground floor with a nice patio, a big door that opened that led to the patio. And I was minding my own business in bed one day. The door was wide open. I had my noise-canceling headphones on, and I heard these really loud banging noises coming from outside that weren't very far. And I'm like, that's not a firework or a firecracker. It can't be. I freak out because as an American, I'm like, I'm about to get shot. Somebody is shooting up all of the student apartments right now. So I call all of my friends and I'm like, did you hear that? Am I crazy? Do we need to call the police and whatever? And they're like, I don't know, but yeah, maybe call your boyfriend who's German and like ask him. So I call my boyfriend and I'm like, watching, we just heard this stuff, like what's going on? And he's like, not to worry. Here in Germany, we don't have shooters. Those are probably just firecrackers. And I'm just like, I'm damaged. Like, we are all damaged and freaking out about freaking firecrackers. We think we're going to get shot up.
What is...
Wow. Okay. That was the last clip you gave
That's
me.
the last one I have, yeah.
Yep. Yes.
But yeah, look at the trauma. They think people just think that there's this weight of oppression on them, and they're going to get shot at any moment. Don't go into large gatherings together because somebody might decide to mow you down. Gosh, I hope I don't twist my ankle because I can't afford to go get an X-ray. And there's just so many things that weighing down that are unnecessary, and that if people got together and readjusted and reevaluated their priorities, it wouldn't be necessary. We see lots and lots of countries of all up and down the gross domestic product scale, or whatever they call it now. It's doable. Except for the fact, what do you do now that we know we could probably build a whole bank of aircraft carriers out of the guns that we have, in the country that people have legally or illegally. But that's the only problem that needs solving there. But that's probably doable.
Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck is wrong. Because like back in the 50s and 60s, it was kind of shitty overall. I mean, there were some shitty attitudes in this country, and bigotry and whatever. Bigotry that most of us in the North didn't even know about. I mean, there was a lot of shit going on, yet we didn't have this grab a gun and go out and shoot. And in some way, God, I don't want to say, I mean, it sounds real cliche, but all these fucking TV shows, right, have just sort of filtered into our brains and created a new reality for us. And maybe we've watched too much television, because that's where this stupid shit happens, where you pull out a gun, and what the fuck, pop a cap in his ass or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, and then when you look at the police, okay, the police used to be like Barney Fife kind of police in most small towns. And now they're this, thin blue line kind of shit. And a lot of that came from soap operas, starting with Hill Street Blues back in the 1980s,
I remember that
yeah,
series.
And the message was, oh, the criminals are so bad that we got to break the law in order to catch them. Every now and then we got to bend the law, and cops are in danger and all this bullshit. And it just infiltrated our minds. And I think in a lot of ways we're being fucking changed by Hollywood TV writers, right? Is that possible?
I don't know.
Think about how much you watch. Think about where your reality is these days.
Well, if Icarus is correct and Europeans want our TV shows, then maybe in 20 years, Europe will be just as bad as the U.S.
Yeah, they better not have our TV shows, because they might fuck you up. They might change you.
Oh, but he's saying they watch them too. In other words, they're watching the same TV shows and nothing like that's happening.
Well, Europeans don't think TV's real. I think maybe Americans do.
So it's our commercials? Because basically for most of this time, it's been TV shows plus commercials. And now I know in Europe they have commercials, but maybe their commercials are different from ours. Yeah. Maybe our commercials are saying kill. But
I don't know. But there's something fucking wrong, and I can't put my finger on what it is. I don't know.
Now Luca's in Italy, and a lot of people spoke well of Italy. throughout all these different videos that I watched. France, they have an incredible number of days off that they're granted a year, and even though on the lower end, 10 mandated days off per year, federal, government mandated.
But Roy Lewis, they had just as much access to guns when I was a kid, and nobody ever got murdered where I was from. There was one crazy, one mentally ill person hit his mom with a hammer and killed her. That was the only murder we had in the 26 years that I was growing up in that locality, like in the whole county, right?
During those times, did we keep data on guns?
No, but we knew when there was a murder. Okay,
right.
It was in the news, right? It was a big deal, right?
It was in your local news.
There just wasn't any murder.
But if there's no data kept, then these things will be in your local news, and those happen rarely. But what about as an aggregate? So I don't know. I need an expert. I need a gun expert on not the how to work a gun or the conservative politics of gun ownership, but somebody who's studied the issue and can give a bird's eye view of the issue over time.
Yeah, I don't know,
but that's what I need. But it's interesting and it's sad. The anecdotal outcries of these young people who most of them look like they weren't born before 2000, the year 2000.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit before.
I just realized that Luca's debate is in half an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, Luca, you better go get some coffee and rest up. You're debating Dr. Crackers. Oh my goodness. You got to go get a hat and you got to get a vest, a geology vest, and all that stuff.
And a beard. Don't forget a beard.
So, Luca, when Dr. Crackers doesn't answer one of your questions, go back and ask him the same question again, because he'll go ahead and crack up some crackers and give you some bullshit and tell you a little anecdote, and then when he does that, pull him back and ask him the same goddamn question again, and ask him to answer.
Yeah, basically, if it's about geology, you're talking. Give some examples of the way they've tested rocks to see how they react under heat and pressure. So they're not going to snap. They're gonna.
See that little rock?
I don't know what the word is. They're going to get more flexible.
What the hell? Okay, that little tiny rock. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see a rock. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
You can't see any grains at all in there.
Nope.
Okay, and I took this rock and I put it. Well, it used to be a big rock, and I put it in a sock. Rock in a sock. It's kind of a Dr. Seuss thing, and you hit it with a hammer. And I got this little chip of rock, and I put it in my microscope, and I magnified it 180 times. And there's these big, huge diamonds and crystals in there, and it's just really cool. Along with an occasional spore and a weird biological remnant, but because I had it outside for a while. But I was very fascinated with how much I can blow these rocks up. I mean, you can't see the grains at all. It looks like just a homogeneous, pudding, right? Speed of pudding. And I had to put that out there. Every time I say pudding, right? So anyway, yeah, but I don't want to switch my camera. Otherwise, I'd switch over and show you this goddamn rock. How fascinating. Pretty amazing. That's an aside.
Rocks are fascinating once you realize that each one has a unique, completely different story compared to all the others.
Yeah. And, I was thinking about this thing with natural selection being nothing more than history. That applies to geology, too, because we have a lot of...
Is there noise coming from my background?
A little bit.
I don't hear any.
It's a little echoey, but I don't know what you got. What do you got going on?
Well, my AC's going, and I thought about turning it off, but I was like, it's kind of hot. So
yeah, don't. It's up under me.
If it's too noisy, I'll turn it, off. I'll turn it up so it'll still be going. It just won't get too hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not a whole lot. What are y'all doing? Hellbound Speed of Sound. I like your new name.
Oh yeah, I like
Hellbound Speed of Sound.
Cordova mentioned it on his YouTube channel last night or the night before, proving once again that he doesn't watch my stuff like he says. But somehow he knew that. I don't know how he knew that. He just stops in for like 3 seconds. Just I don't know why. Just to see if he's got more subscribers than I do. That's how he puts it.
Well, I do see you're at 540 subs, so that's good.
Yeah, we finally got above that 530. That 530 mark was holding us back.
Well, Danny, he's gotten over 1,000 subs now. I know you.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good with some of the celebrities he's had on. Have kicked him up quite a bit.
That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've been on his stream, so I'm one celebrity that hasn't made it to his stream yet.
Well, just as well, you'd probably crash his viewership.
Probably, it's what I do.
Just had to throw that in there. It's summertime for somebody.
Oh my God.
Looks like fun. It looks like a lot of fun.
I wish I was out there now.
StreamYardception.
So we got two things going on here. The first thing is that we're getting it's 72 here every single day, like perfect weather. Just
you bastard.
Perfect weather. And but the other thing we got going on is I look down over the hill, down into the valley, and I could see the Minnesota River, which I'm not supposed to see because I'm like 3/4 of a mile from it or a mile from it, and it's overflowing the banks. And every day when we go for a walk, the path we walked on the day before is underwater. So I don't know what the hell's happening here. Doesn't seem to be raining that much, but we're flooding for some reason.
72. You guys are so lucky right now.
Or the ice up in the Arctic is melting and it's flowing down through Canada into your rivers.
Maybe that's it. Well, it's actually 73 right now, so it went up a degree.
It's 95 here, or 93.
Yeah. Brain bugs got it. The bugs are out, and boy, are they out.
Yeah, the mosquitoes. I don't know what the mosquitoes are like in northern states, but here in Georgia, they are terrible.
Mosquitoes haven't hit us yet, but they'll be here by next week, and they are bad.
So how come nobody is speaking of like the Zika virus or West Nile virus anymore? Has the pandemic overshadowed it, or did we suddenly come up with a cure for mosquitoes?
No, pandemic overshadowed it. Yeah. It's still going strong here. That's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit freaked out about mosquitoes in the river valley. They got all this shit they're carrying.
Mosquito Valley.
Mosquito Valley.
No, I'm gone mad.
Don't you go down in the Mosquito Valley.
The mosquitoes. The mosquitoes. Or as they say in Alabama, the skeeters.
Skeeter. Don't go down to Skeeter Valley.
Yep.
I think Brainbug should come in. She asked if she could come in.
I think Brainbug should come in.
Let's see. I don't know if I should pick on Cell today. Should I pick on Cell today?
Hey, what's with the thumbnail? It's not a party until the wiener comes out. Which made me laugh.
Normally that's about Danny, but this time I've included Cell Cordova as a weenie.
So what was the stream about the other day? I was commenting, but I was at work, so I couldn't listen all that much as I wanted to. So was Sal and Danny like agreeing on important topics?
They were talking about natural selection. Sal loves anybody who makes any criticism of evolution or natural selection, and so on that basis, they got along for about 5 minutes. So, yeah,
5 minutes. Oh wow!
It was double weenie that day.
Well, what happened after they both agreed on a certain point apparently, but what happened after that? Was there any point of
Oh, you know, Danny, he kisses ass when he's on. So of course they got along the whole time. I mean, Danny will just, he just gets down there and he French kisses butt. when he the only time Danny gets cantankerous is with other atheists, because that's his deal, that's his thing, right?
Seems you have a bone to pick with Ox in the side chat, Gur.
Yeah, Ox is always talking some bullshit. Gur, Speed is being polite. He knew you would show up if he added weenie. Okay, well that's true though. That's true. Ox is always talking some shit.
Like weenies.
Icarus is on point here. He's completely, absolutely correct.
Oh yeah.
Where?
Criticism of evolution.
Yeah.
Is proof of God. Yep.
Yeah. So
well said, Dr. Icarus.
So Cordova has.
He's no longer a doctor anymore. Oh well.
Oh damn it. Oh well.
Cordova has this ridiculous, naive, and teleological view of evolution, and it's
like most creationists.
It's as dead and ancient as Darwin is. Darwin's dead, right? Very old, very, very long time. We moved way past Darwin. And he cherry picks these quotes from modern biologists who criticize naive evolutionists, right? But that's what Sell is. When he thinks about evolution, he thinks about it in this naive way. And we have Lewontin and Lynch, and they criticize various aspects of natural selection and evolution. And Sell says, see, they agree with me.
Right.
And therefore God, so but what they're picking on is Sell's idea of evolution. That's what they're picking on, and he doesn't get it, that they're actually laughing at him, and it's his idea of evolution that's being shot down, and it's just
that's
stupid.
Ironic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, God. They're simply trying to rid ourselves of this teleology and this teleological thinking and this simplistic thinking in evolution. And they're coming up with, because of what we know now about the complexity of how natural selection works. And I think it's, was it Lynch or Lewontin? Lewontin was picking on various ideas in population genetics that oversimplify some of the models, right? That was it. And then Sell picks that up and he says, see what they're saying? They're saying that there are difficulties with natural selection. We fucking know that, Sell. There are difficulties. Yes.
So, Bree, did you hear us talk about mosquitoes, and that was your cue to pop in?
Actually, my cue to pop in was climate change. I do have something I wanted to talk to you guys about, just real quick, if you'll allow me the floor, Speed.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Thanks to ongoing drought in the U.S., the parched, rapidly receding waters of Nevada's Lake Mead have revealed a second set of long-lost human remains in less than a week. On May 1st, police received reports of a human body in a barrel found stuck in the mud near the shrinking waters of Lake Mead. Largest reservoir in the U.S. by water capacity, found just east of Las Vegas less than a week later on Saturday, May 7th, National Park Service rangers responded to another call saying more human remains had been found or discovered near the waters. Due to warming temperatures linked to climate change.
What the hell? Bree, your camera's like, whoa.
It's really glitching there.
I thought it was on my end.
Yeah,
we need one of those strobe light disclaimers.
Climate change deniers got to you.
I'm gonna go off camera for the moment, and we'll.
Guys, if y'all have got epilepsy or any other kind of strobe light, apologize. There may be more upcoming.
Go ahead, Bree.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Due to warming temperatures linked to climate change, the waters of Lake Mead have been dropping for several decades, reportedly leaving the reservoir just 38% full by late April 2020.
Oh, that is sad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The waters have been further depleted this year, revealing long-forgotten secrets that lie along the muddy lake bed. In Las Vegas, Metropolitan Police Department says the first body discovered in a barrel appears to be the victim of a murder. You don't say. How many people are found in a barrel that aren't the victim of murder? Killed by a gunshot wound?
It was a mistake.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. They put sardines in similar things. Are they? Yeah, I guess they're murder too.
Right. So what I'm doing today, and why I'm presenting this, I won't read any more of it, but it just goes in about the individual cases. But why I'm presenting that, and what I'm explaining here is, this is an appeal to the Republican congressmen, Senate members, anybody in a position of power that is opposing and working to legislate against climate change. We're going to find the bodies in the barrels if you all keep this up.
Right.
So
that's right.
turn it around.
That's why the mob has gotten behind climate change now. They're starting to wear shirts. I don't know. Was it Steve Colbert or Seth Meyers that did a thing where they had the mob with climate change t-shirts on? They're like, all of a sudden they're believers.
Right. With Lake Mead being right there by Las Vegas, it's really kind of par for course that we're going to find. That's where we're going to start finding bodies.
So Bree, is it possible that the Minnesota River is rising because we're taking all that water?
Well, I think it's seasonal. Why is my camera so glitchy today? I don't know.
Luca,
camera.
Luca,
you
have a debate in what? How many minutes? When? Luca, you're muted. You're still muted.
Luca.
Maybe he's not listening.
Luca, can you hear us?
Luca.
Can you
see us?
Oh, that's perfect.
Hey.
No.
If you're being held hostage, blink
once. He sees us now.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
There's four of us, so we could do YMCA.
Tell us about your debate, but you're going to have to unmute first.
Hello, speed.
Oh, time to shoot her in the head, Midnight.
Yes.
Oh,
get a spray tan, Midnight. Get a spray
tan.
Wow.
You might have computer. Here we go.
Go to bed.
Bree, your camera is still glitching.
It's flickering. I see that. I just need a new camera, I think.
It's trying.
I always just want to get new things. I should. There, I can make it worse by touching it.
Yeah, no.
That's what she said.
Wow.
That's kind of a cool effect, to be honest.
She totally did. Hi, Midnight. How are you?
I'm peachy. You?
Oh, I'm well. I'm
so,
here.
Luca.
Hanging in there.
Can we hear
you? Can you hear us yet, Luca? Anybody know American Sign Language?
I do not, but he's Italian.
So is Luca's debate on Standing's channel?
I thought it was on.
I think so.
Wait, does Luca have a sexy accent?
Hey, I have a sexy accent.
You definitely do, Midnight. So sexy.
Hey, Midnight, when you don't feel well, do people say, "Hey, Midnight, you look a little pale"? Like, how does that work?
Wow.
Okay, I'm joking.
Leo, weren't you just on Danny's channel?
Yeah, he was.
This is not Leo. It's Bill Keel.
Yeah, it's.
Did you read, Scott?
Agrami, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Bill Keel Agrami, the noted Italian philosopher.
No, you're not.
Okay, Professor Bill Keel, weren't you on Danny's channel just a minute ago?
Yeah, he ended, so now I'm here.
Oh.
So Luca's stream is at 5:30 in half an hour. So, and Luca keeps trying to join.
What channel? What channel was it?
Standing in Poop.
Oh, okay.
Standing in Poop.
Hey, Luca, can you hear us?
We are here.
Yay, it works.
Better now. I had some problem with the connection. I hope it's fine now.
So you are debating Dr. Cracker.
Yes, Dr. David McQueen. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm hyped to do so because it's on a topic that I'm quite. I do not want to say that I'm good at that topic, but I did my thesis on thermodynamics, so I do know a thing or two about it.
Right. The heat problem, right?
Yes.
You're gonna be great, Luca. I believe in you.
Thanks. It will be.
The audience necessarily won't think so, though.
I linked that in my description as well as posted it. So let's see.
I'm grateful.
I did want to tell you guys, you guys missed an absolute titan of a debate earlier today.
Where?
Between two of the biggest titans in philosophy of religion. It was is
Graham
theism
Oppie?
probable between Richard Swinburne and Graham Oppie.
Oh, that
I forget it was Swinburne.
I had that.
I want to be as charitable as I can here. I'm not sure if Swinburne just talks, because he's older, more slowly, and just with his dialectic, I just was losing the point that he was making, or if he just wasn't making a cogent point. I was really struggling to understand what he was saying.
So he was the Christian?
Well, oh yeah, obviously, yeah. Richard Swinburne's one of the most noted Christian philosophers on the planet.
Okay.
I think Rebecca from the side chat wants in, just to let you know.
The link should be in the chat. I found it. Gare posted it.
Oh, somebody posted it? Who posted it?
You.
Scott.
No, it must have been who posted
Gare.
the link?
Scott posted the link to me
Scott
on
posted it,
Telegram.
then Gers posted it for Brainbug.
Somehow Gur got tossed out.
Oh my.
Gur?
I wonder how that would happen.
So, Leo, Redefine Living, right?
Of course I
Hey,
know
Rebecca.
Redefine Living.
Oh my god, I hate that guy. Go ahead.
I guess while you're here, you want to hear something really silly. He asked / told me the other day on
Sure.
I forget what stream it was, but it was just it just sounded so idiotic to me, to be honest. So
Well, don't
he
leave us in
was
suspense. Tell us.
He's getting ready to.
so he was arguing with me about the empirical methodology of science, and how I guess reliable it is. I couldn't really tell what his point was, to be honest. But what was really silly, what he said to me, was he was asking me, "How do you know your name?" And he was implying that the reason I know my name was because of revelation and not because of observation or just what someone else described to me. Like,
Whoa. So words are prescriptive? Is that the?
No.
yeah, it was just really silly to me, and I just didn't have the patience to deal with it. So
He wasn't. His argument wouldn't be that words are prescriptive. His argument would be that there is no truth that you can know that hasn't been revealed to you directly by God. Because
Yeah, that
Sam
seems to be
likes to
what he
try
was
to pull the
implying.
presuppositionalist route and does an even more horrid job than any of the other obviously horrid people who try to do the same thing.
I'm not trying to be rude here, but Sam doesn't know quite a bit, as far as I can.
Yeah, he's tried to take me on like we was in a stream, I think on LPP's channel one time. And I had mentioned something like the word truth, and he's like, "Well, what is truth to you?" And I just, I said truth is a property of sentences, whereby the proposition being expressed in the object language can be said to have truth if it satisfies conditions outlined by the meta language that you're using to prescribe the object language. He didn't understand what that was because he doesn't know anything about epistemology or theories of truth. And then I asked him what his theory of truth was, and he couldn't give it to me. And then I said, "Yeah, because you don't know a fucking thing about epistemology. You should probably shut up and open a book."
Yeah. But,
So Rebecca, you had some Satanists on your channel.
She had a very different kind of Satanist.
And I tuned in on one of them and I listened for like 30 seconds and she started talking about something and I said, "Okay, nope, I'm out of here." I'm just like, what the?
Well, hold on. What was she talking about?
I don't know. The one you had today, what was she going on about? What the hell was it?
Well, she talked about a lot of stuff, but she's had a lot of encounters with other beings. So maybe she was talking about that.
I think maybe, yeah. But anyway,
Oh,
I got out of there as soon as
So Black Mamba, basically.
Well, is she one of these astral projection into like different planes to become an eighth octave of the sun?
so.
Yeah, I can't.
Very
People
much.
that are like that. Honestly, I've often thought we should like hurl. Just let them like live on the moon or something. They don't need to be a part of our society.
You know what? Compared to other people, Rebecca's beliefs are tame.
I know.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I wasn't making any statements about Rebecca. I was making statements about the kind of people that think that like they can astral project into the third plane and get like magical vagina crystals that turn them into an 8th octave of the sun, so that they can transcend quantum vibrationally all diseases or some stupid chopper.
What does
shit
that
like
even
that.
mean?
That's the kind of people that I'm talking about.
Magical vagina crystals.
But those are testable. Those are
kind of
testable things.
Satan
How can
is-
how can someone commit so long to something like that if after you try it and it fails and you try it and it fails? Maybe they think it doesn't fail.
Cognitive dissonance. It's the same reason why people can go talk to an expert in the fields, in some field, and every expert can disagree with them, but they'll still claim that, oh, well, all those experts must just be wrong and biased because I alone have figured out the truth.
Like
I want to know where Rebecca's
Ooh,
harvesting these Satanists from. Where's your Satan? You got like a pool of Satanists somewhere that you just dip into?
I'm one of them.
Well, actually, Black Mamba, he contacted me and asked if I would come on his channel. So I first did an interview on his channel, and then I invited him to come on my channel, and he invited me back. So I've been on his channel twice. He's been on my channel twice. And then High Priestess Zola is also connected with him. So I don't have a lot of Satanist friends.
Wait, is that
These
who
are
you
the
had?
only two.
Is that who
What's
you
that?
had today?
Yeah.
Oh, I know her. I just wasn't sure who that was.
Okay. But I have to say, for representatives of Satanism, I mean, I was very impressed with both of them representing their beliefs, and especially Black Mamba, because he has so much knowledge of other religions, including Christianity. So he is truly he is very knowledgeable, and he also is, to me, I was like, I don't want to have some phony Satanist on there. I wanted to know he was the real deal before I said yes. And I looked at his channel. I was like, okay, this guy's for real. So I feel very happy that he came on my channel.
Did you guys know that Aaron Ra is a Satanist now?
Wait, what?
Well, he's a different kind of Satanist.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
but
talking
that was what I was
with
about
the
to
phony
ask
Satanist.
with Rebecca,
This
was
is not,
because what
he
kind of
doesn't count.
Satanist did
Wait a
you
minute,
have
no.
on? Because
It's
there's
so funny.
Satanism, and then there's like Levian Satanism, which is what like almost everybody that's a Satanist means by Satanism.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about. Phony Satanists to me is that it's flip flopped. The people that you've talked to are the ones
The
that I would
phony
consider
ones.
phony Satanists, and then the like Levian Satanists would be what I because that's what I'm most associated with here in the U.S. and they're all mostly atheist.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of Satanist were you talking to then, Rebecca?
Oh, well, the ones I would say Black Mamba has deeply studied the occult. He has had Satan appeared to him. He
never told me that.
So they're theistic Satanists. Is what
well,
it is.
actually, now Black Mamba says he's an atheist.
I think they're more occultists than anything.
So, but no, they're very much Satanists. Like they believe in the spirit of Satan, and they believe in self-worship. They're very strongly into self-worship and not into worshiping any other being.
Yeah, so Satan is kind of like one of them described the other day about it being power from within rather than power from without or something like that. And I thought it sounded a little dangerous to me. I don't know.
How the hell does that sound dangerous?
Power from within, like all my power comes from within.
It sounded like a positive message to me. I don't know.
That sounds like something that could be interpreted in like 50 different ways, and I don't know what it means.
Okay, you're just a little tiny splat of goo on a piece of dust. Okay, so you're not that fucking powerful. Get over it.
Yes, I am.
Get over it.
A mighty Jew.
These are multiplying.
Okay, Gur, are you powerful or not? Are you powerful? Who has the power? Who has the power, Gur?
You do. On this stream, we know who.
Well, you know what, Speed? I am powerful. Powerful enough to defeat you!
Except, never mind.
Oh!
No, Gur. I know what you're going to say, right?
No,
hold on. Except to defeat the sun, right? That's what you were going
Yes, I was.
I fucking do it. Be a man, son, and say what you say.
I ain't got no gumption midnight. I'm sorry.
If you think your power comes from within, try to be a breatharian for 7 days and see what happens.
What do we mean by power?
Talking about some kind of like
great question, Leo.
Wooey gooey hippy dippy power from from within or something.
Well,
I mean,
believe in
you
yourself.
you guys make fun, but I love myself.
Well, that's great, man. I love yourself too.
Yes, and I'm powerful from within.
I'm working on it.
Yep.
Oh, girlfriend, you will get there.
So, Rebecca, what did y'all talk about over on Danny's stream? Oh, I guess I could ask Leo that too.
I was kind of disconnected because I found it an extraordinarily boring discussion.
What was it about?
I have no fucking clue.
Probably about
Danny. It's always boring.
Wow, it went over Leo's head. Wow.
It's about the weenie. The weenie was having a talk, so probably boring.
Or do you think they were just bloviating in it? It was
Well,
just
some of
bloviation?
us Christians were trying to save a Christian from deconverting, so I felt the need to jump in the stream and bring
Oh
some
my
Holy
God.
Spirit. There was like, you know,
What a horrible thing to
Sem-
do to a person, Rebecca. Oh my goodness.
Wait, did they have like genuine like doubts or concerns or
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Could you show me a jar of Holy Spirit?
Yes.
What
No.
color?
What color is the Holy Spirit?
We're Hovending you.
Yeah, it's just a Kent Hovind reference. Nothing against you, Rebecca.
oh really? That's
Yeah.
how is that
that
from Ken
reference.
Hovind?
Okay.
Leo can fill you right in because it was.
Leo, explain.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't need to
man.
explain anything. Rebecca can go to my channel and look for the debate titled Kent Hovind Struggles with Cosmology, and she can watch that and figure it out.
You have, you have a channel, Leo?
Do I?
Yes and no
I'm sorry.
at the same time.
Sorry.
Also, I don't know how many of you know this, but because I don't know how many of you are actually subscribed to me. But last week on a late night stream, that was last week on a late night stream. What was that? Saturday, maybe? I had another interaction with our beloved Darth Dawkins.
Oh yes, I watched that.
That was I had so much fun with that. It was so funny. Oh, it was so much fun. I wasn't even expecting him to like engage me,
Leo,
but
relax.
I was
relax.
surprised, and it was pretty fucking funny.
You're almost having an orgasm there. It
No,
was
no, believe me, I am quite far from having an orgasm.
Okay, because the way you were
My
sounding,
dick's not even hard right now, so I think that'd be
That's
kind of
like
hard to do.
That's like your third or fourth interaction with Darth, isn't it? Third?
It'll probably be the last because I made him look like an absolute fool. I mean, not that he isn't, but
He does that every day.
Yeah, right.
What channel was that on, Leo?
well, I mean, if you want the interaction instead of trying to sift through a 5.5-hour stream, just go to my channel. It's the most recent video. But it was on Praise's channel. He was actually Darth was interacting with Wildheart first, and the thing is, Wildheart was making an exceptional objection to what I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go rewatch it, but he was actually making a really good objection, and Darth just was not engaging because he never does.
Okay, let me.
Can Darth be saved, Rebecca?
No.
Can Darth Dawkins be saved?
Well, I think Rebecca thinks that in the end everybody ends up getting saved or something like that.
No, Leo. No, I don't. That's universal.
Oh, that's right. You think God is a failure and is thereby not omnipotent and thereby doesn't exist. I forgot.
Rebecca, I was
Really nice.
I was telling my son this morning about your idea that there is no hell, right? No hellfire.
Yeah. Right.
And so he was doubting me, so he looked up an article and we read it together. It was pretty interesting. Apparently, there are 4 words in the Bible for hell.
Yep.
They were all changed into one word, and they have 4 slightly different meanings in the Hebrew or something. Is what the article was saying. And like there's 4 different. One word for it was meant in the grave.
Yes.
And yeah, basically
Exactly.
there's very little support in the Bible for this idea. But then it came up around, let's see, when the hell he went through the history of how it became a thing and how it sort of took over in Christianity. And I thought that was interesting.
Was it Dante?
And this guy was a
reason?
Christian. This guy was a Christian, and he said that the thing that horrified him the most was that other people would be in hell for eternity, And when he heard that it was, that basically that is not a settled question in the Bible, he was so happy and so grateful that he didn't have to feel that way anymore. Which was kind of
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So
very
pretty
cool.
Interesting
Somebody's
article.
very noisy. Somebody has
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Okay.
Get it together, Gur.
You doing laundry there, Gur, or are you like excavating your backyard for a new pool? Like, what are
never mind. I'm performing an exorcism on myself at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Now it's the AC unit. It's on because it's hot in here, and so.
Do you need any extra rosaries? We've got plenty in this house.
Is it a buy one get one by chance?
Oh no, we don't buy rosaries. These are rosaries. Why would you have to buy them? Come on now.
Sure, I don't give a shit.
I
don't give a shit if you roast in hell or wherever you are. Turn that shit off.
Well, actually, I do have to go anyway. I might stream later. Good seeing everyone.
Yeah, Gur, good to see you.
Good to see you, Gur.
But I will see you all.
Good to see your icon.
I put Leo and Darth Dawkins.
Gur.
I want a big reveal one day. I want to see what Gur really looks like.
Oh no, Gur.
Okay,
Before you leave, put the picture. Yes, come on. I love this picture.
I saw him once and it was so horrifying that I had to shut my video off.
There you go. No, Gur. The other one, the other picture.
It was horrible.
Do you guys want to know what I look like?
We already know what you look like, Dan.
Nobody knows what you look like, Leo, and nobody gives a shit.
See, that's sexy. Look at those pecs.
Listen, it's a lot of dedication. Can't eat any carbs. You have to say no to bread. No thanks, bread life.
Hey, Rebecca, there's your husband. I don't know if you're married already, but that's a good husband. Right there. Look how sexy that is.
Yes, I am married.
Oh.
You don't have to answer like this question, Rebecca, or anything. Do you have any children?
Yeah, I have 2 boys.
Adults
They're
or teenagers or
17 and 14.
Okay.
Are they atheists?
I don't like to talk about their beliefs on stream because I don't have their permission. So I should probably, not give out that much information about them. But
just
they're good kids.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
Well,
yes.
So are you active in a church or is...
It's interesting that you ask me that right now because my husband and I just had a talk with our pastor last week and we told him, we kind of broke it to our church that we're not going to be coming anymore.
Oh, you're becoming a Catholic, Rebecca? Great. Fucking good on you. That's what was needed.
No. But what we realized is that like what often happens with us is that we get very involved in like doing some sort of community thing. And then it's like we're doing church stuff and we're doing this other separate community. So I kind of started realizing actually YouTube, the people I talk to on YouTube, this is my community. And so I started like a YouTubers Christian fellowship. And like, we're just going to like invest where our community is and like, do our God stuff, like more online with people rather than like trying to also maintain our church relationships and everything like that.
Doesn't the Bible, doesn't the New Testament say that the church is technically where the community is? It isn't like in a building, it's wherever the community is or something along those lines, some sentiment like that?
Yeah. Well, actually the word we use for church, it never did refer to a building or anything like that. So the church is just the people. So
then why is it so then why is it the people do we have to go to a building? It's like, hey, we need to go to church. Well, okay.
It's based on a temple, right? That's what.
Well, we're not trying to recreate the Jewish temple because that was one centralized place of worship. Mm-hmm. Like churches meeting together at certain times. This is just a way of being together to worship God. And believe me, I'm like a drunk in a bar, like at church. Like I don't like to leave when the doors, like they have to like kick me out because I really love going to church. So for me, like leaving our church is not because like I don't like it or something like that. It's just, like I said, focusing energy in one place rather than like trying to do too many things.
You mean like chakras?
My
That was a
memory
joke.
of church was being so bored that I thought my head was going to explode.
Going to church, back when I did, I went, but I always felt it took away from like actually learning anything.
The only time I liked church is on Christmas Eve when we'd have that special sort of midnight mass sort of thing. And that was incredibly, it had a lot of feeling in it, but the rest of it was a Presbyterian church. So you can imagine. And our minister, Reverend Peterson looked like Ichabod Crane.
I mean, speaking of Peterson, somebody's back.
Oh, John's back?
Yes.
Where? I don't see him.
The what was the channel? The individual conservative. You remember this channel?
Oh, he actually did a YouTube video?
Yeah, he's been doing one for 4 days.
Yeah, it was called like the something interlocutor, the amateur interlocutor, or something like that.
The amateur conversationalist. There you go.
There you go.
Oh my God.
I've been trying to find his channel because I didn't know where he was at, and I didn't know if he was doing anything.
Yeah,
I could not for the life of me remember the name of it.
YouTube always recommends it.
Yeah, he called me the other day, and I forgot to call him back, I think.
Yep.
When you said, speaking of Peterson Midnight, I thought you were going to be talking about somebody else. And I'm probably the only one here that gets that joke. I think Bree might.
Jordan Peterson.
Other than us, I don't think anybody else.
Jordan Peterson, right? Is that who you were thinking of? Yep, there you go.
Canadian Kermit the Frog, that's right. Wow. Maybe even a little Ray Romano in there somewhere.
So,
guys, I think that I'll go because I...
Yeah, you're ready for your... Okay.
Good to see you, Luca.
It was a pleasure to be... Yes, it's a pleasure to see you, Rebecca.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but
sometime
go to Standing for Jews channel and watch Luca.
Yes, debate with David McQueen. It will be fun. I hope to do well. I'm not very confident about nothing, but it was a pleasure to be here, and I really enjoyed to be here time to time. I'm sorry that it's a rare occurrence because I do have very different timelines. Here it's past midnight, so it's hard for me to get on this channel. Often.
Yeah.
So
bye.
Try to hold it.
It's a pleasure to do so.
Yeah, Luca.
So,
sorry,
Luca, try to hold his feet to the fire on a few questions because that guy evades all over, and he'll launch into some little anecdote, and he won't really say anything, and then I don't know, just hold his feet to the fire. That guy is full of it. Go ahead.
What are you laughing at, Leo?
Leo's having a fit.
Where?
I will
in
try.
The chat?
And so, I don't know if Jordan will see that this, but reason to doubt helped me a lot in this debate, so I'm very thankful to him. And so, before I go, my name is Medugno. So, if some people want to pronounce that in a correct way,
it's like lasagna. It's not.
Don't
lasagna,
worry about it.
Lasagna.
Italians get it wrong too.
By the way, I
Medugno.
wasn't broken. I just saw that Tom Rabbit was premiering my interaction with Darth Dawkins, and so I went to watch it, and I started watching, and I muted the site quickly, and I started watching it at just the right time.
Well, hang on. Link it then, or go to your.
Well,
channel.
the premiere's
I don't know.
practically over. If you want to see it, just go to my channel and watch the most recent video.
Okay, I put Leo's his link to that video in my description, and I posted it somewhere in chat here too. So anyway, Luca, I also posted yours, and you go get ready. You got 15 minutes to rest up and get some coffee. So okay.
And sorry about that laughter. I thought I was muted already, and then I realized I wasn't.
I enjoyed it. Good laughter.
And I'm happy for you that, you know, you made the front page basically of Tom Rabbit.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. I should rebroadcast that little interchange you had on my channel with him, because that got a ton of views, and that was really good. You handled him really
You're
well.
a view whore, Speed. That's the only reason you want to do that. Don't you?
If I were a view whore, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, because obviously it's not working.
Fair enough.
Yep. Proof that I'm not. Anyway,
engage in more debates. Go into others' live streams and shout your channel out.
I could do a lot of stuff if I wanted to do that. If I really cared about views or YouTube notoriety, I guess I would do that. But apparently I care about other things. More important things.
What is love?
By the way, next
Baby,
week,
don't hurt me.
next week we may not have any weather reports at all.
Why?
I'm leaving town, and on Monday I have a physical, and I think it's right during my weather report.
That's okay. It's okay. I will be streaming for you.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Maybe.
So I also posted.
Maybe I can be a guest host.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can put
Answers in Atheism taken over by Christian.
By the time I got back, all of my subscribers would be Christians and young Earth creationists. And then what the hell would I do? I'd have to fix that. It'd take me months to clean up after you. But
anyway. Come on. We're not making that many converts here. With young Earth creationism, anyway.
Nope. Well, if you drop the young Earth creationism, you'd be far ahead of the game.
But you know what? But Mike, would it be a little bit sad for you if there were suddenly no young Earth creationists? Would you feel like
yeah. But no, I care about you, and I would like you to drop it. But the rest of them, no, keep it coming, you know. But you I care about, so I would appreciate it if you would take another long look at it. Anyway.
I would just like you to ask yourself how all these billion-dollar oil companies make their billions of dollars if radiometric dating just doesn't work.
Yeah, no. Oh, there's a lot of stuff we
magic
can talk about.
Well, a lot of things can be coincidental. Like
every time,
maybe it's working.
Every single time for over 100 years, it's coincidental. You don't think that there would just be a pattern present there at that point?
No, I mean maybe there's a pattern, but it doesn't have to do with the age.
Well, no, the
They've
pattern is
discovered
the
a pattern.
The finding oil has nothing to do with the age of the Earth. It's that if you accepted that the methods used for finding and prospecting for oil, i.e., radioisotope dating, are accurate and meaningful, then why would you deny that with respect to using that to determine the age of the Earth?
Well, is it possible that they could be meaningful without being absolutely correct?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, because to me, I feel like it could be used. It's possible that it could be used in a way that could make some good predictions, but without being absolutely correct. Just in the same way as, you know, when astronomers were first looking at the planets' orbits and stuff, they had a wrong idea about the planet's orbits, but they were still able to make some pretty good predictions based on their understanding at the time. So they weren't absolutely correct, but their predictions were good enough. Their idea was good enough. So what I'm saying is I don't know that much about how the searching for the oil and all that is done, but I'm wondering though if it there's something true about what they've discovered, and that's what's causing them to find the right thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the ages are correct.
Well, if the ages aren't correct, how are they finding the oil where it says they should? Every single time for over a century. Or for around a century, I should say. Why?
I don't know.
The problem
you don't think that the most reasonable conclusion would be obviously the methods they're using are accurate?
I think that's one possibility.
Do you own a car, Rebecca?
Yeah.
If you were to go to the store in an hour and you went to go start your car, would you expect it to start? Like right now,
I would expect
you
it to start. Yes.
Why?
Well, because it's a pretty new car. I don't think I left the lights on. So, I mean, I think I can rely on it to start.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Anyway, guys, we got a shooter in the head.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
That is the biggest non sequitur I've ever seen. What does the age of the Earth have to play on the sun's emission spectrum? What?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
That's just that hobo
Where did he,
that sits on the street corner and screams things at pedestrians.
Hey, it's easy to shoot down his comment when you guys don't let him to come in and talk. But
well,
I mean,
it's not
he's
me. I don't know the
actually-
channel, so
I think this is a
good.
This is a good objection Otangelo is raising. Here.
How is it a good objection? Can you give me what the connection is between the age of the Earth and the emission spectrum of the sun?
Why would it shine 25% less?
Yeah, explain where that statistic comes
Guys,
from. Where that
I
percentage
don't
comes
Well, I mean, if
know
you're saying, then why are you saying it's a good objection?
Because I'm relying on my young Earth creation advisor, my Sal,
Oh my God.
who says this faint young sun issue is paradox is a huge problem.
No, it's not.
For the age of the Earth.
Can
And
I
no
address
one has
please what
solved
he's
it
saying
yet.
here?
And so I haven't investigated it myself. I'm just trusting my best advisor, my favorite, Sal.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. Okay,
You'll
so-
trust Sal over people with like PhDs in astrophysics who work at like Harvard fucking university? No, that was a serious question. You would trust Sal over, say, Cora Dvorkin, a PhD cosmologist who's an associate professor of physics and astronomy at
I don't know that person.
the world's largest and most prestigious institution.
I don't know that person. I
didn't
do
ask
know
if you knew them.
Sal.
What I asked you is if you would trust what they said.
I don't
over
trust
Sal.
credentials.
I didn't
don't-
ask you that. Would you trust somebody who has a PhD in the field over somebody who doesn't when they say something
No,
about the
not
field?
necessarily.
Why not?
No. Because
What makes you think they're more likely to be
Okay.
wrong than somebody who doesn't have the same level of credentials?
Well, let me put it this way. At one time in my life, I had a doctor as a roommate. Okay, I was renting a room from a doctor. Now, a lot of people put themselves into that person's hands, right? And they trust that person, right?
Yeah,
And
but why?
She has the credit. She had the credentials, right? And people tend to trust people who have the training, have the education.
Exactly.
But I can tell you though, if I was going, I would not put myself into her hands for my physical health because I knew her as a person and I knew what was like beyond the credentials, that even within some fields, there's good and bad within the fields. There are good doctors and there are terrible doctors.
Yeah, I didn't deny this.
So all I'm saying is you can't just necessarily trust someone just because they have the education.
I didn't say that.
I trust Sal. Okay, but I mean,
I'm asking you trust Sal. Why is it that you trust Sal? Because he agrees with you?
In Sal's case, look, there's young Earth creationists that I don't trust.
Sure,
okay?
That's not what I'm asking. Why do you trust Sal? Is it because he
and
agrees
I'm
with
trying
you?
to answer you because I know Sal and I've learned that he is an honest person. I've in talking with him and discussing these topics, I feel like he is very, very honest and very diligent. So he doesn't just willy-nilly give an answer like, oh yeah, that's solved and blah, blah, blah. He's honest about the problems with young Earth creation. He's honest about, the times that he's had doubts about it. It took him a long time to become a young Earth creationist. He didn't start out that way. He started out as a theistic evolutionist. So what I'm saying is, yeah, it has a lot to do with my knowledge of him as a person. And the person that you told me about, hey, I all I know is the credentials that you cited. So I don't know that person. I don't know if
Why
that
is
person
that relevant?
is trustworthy.
Well,
when your
I may
car breaks
kind of
down
butt
and
in
you take it to
here.
the mechanic, or do you only go to mechanics you personally know?
I would prefer to, but unfortunately, I don't personally know any mechanics in the area that I live in. So I have to trust people blindly.
You think it's blindly trusting a literal mechanic who's like an ASC certified auto technician?
Well, I mean,
You think that's
probably
blindly trusting?
Well, look, there's lots of mechanics that are taking advantage of people. They may have
but this all you're doing is pointing to statistical outliers. That doesn't overturn the general trend. You think it's blindly trusting somebody who's literally took a test and got certified in their field. That's blind trust to expect them to know about the things they were tested on and passed.
Okay.
So when I get an attorney in the court, I don't know this attorney. I'm blindly trusting them, even though they passed their bar exam.
Well, you're probably. Go ahead, Mike.
Andrew was trying to talk. Andrew, you had a word?
It's okay now. The point is passed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway,
I did want to talk with Rebecca about something else, but I'll just wait till I have an opening here.
Yeah. How about next weather report?
Oh, okay.
I'd kind of like to stop right now. So Luca's going to be debating in a few minutes, so I think we should go over and see that or whatever.
Are you sending people over to Standing for Truth?
I know.
You just
I
did.
guess
So gross.
Well,
I'm in the side chat all the time over there.
Yeah, you are. I see you all over in the side.
Yeah, Bree, you have to be. You do Creation Watch, so
I saw you in the side chat with Nice Girl. Do you know Nice Girl?
I've just met her recently.
Yeah, I talked to her about 2 years ago, and she's like an immovable block of rocks. But she's very intelligent. So, and a geologist. I did enjoy our conversations.
And you might see me in Sal's chat too, Speed.
What's that?
You might see me in Sal's chat too. You never know.
I did. I think that's where I saw you the other day.
There was also something else I
come
wanted
you
to
weren't
mention.
blocked?
How, Rebecca, how do you know that the things Sal says with respect to a subject are in fact correct? Or are you just trusting him?
Well, I think Mike wants to end the stream.
So you're not going to answer the question. Okay, no, that's fine.
Well, I know. I'm happy to.
Well,
Leo,
Rebecca, we have to have a talk about cell and evolution someday, soon. Just you and I.
Yeah.
And,
I like to join because I like to learn.
Because you're believing things from a man who is so wrong, so horribly wrong. And you got to stop. You got to stop. You got to pull yourself back.
Telling her that isn't going to help. The point that I was trying to get at there was
that
if she doesn't cross-reference anything that Sal says against like the academic literature and what the literal researchers who have the highest level of credentials any human could earn in a field, have done all the tests, have been grilled for hours by some of the top experts in the field, which is what a PhD dissertation defense is. If you're not like, then what you're saying, what you would essentially be admitting is that you're just blindly trusting Sal. So this idea that you don't just blindly trust people would be false. Otherwise, you're going to have to tell me, how do you know that the things Sal says are in fact true? How do you know that?
Well, Leo, first, I didn't say I never blindly trust people. I actually said sometimes I have to blindly trust people because I have no choice. But with regard to Sal, I have reasons for trusting Sal. They may not be the reasons that you like. Well, I
think that this sounds like a whole discussion. This sounds like a whole conversation.
Yeah,
and we should probably just wrap it right here.
I have. Hold on.
Okay, Midnight, finish it up. Midnight has something to say, and then we're done.
Okay, Leo, if you want to continue to have this conversation with Rebecca, I can totally start a stream up because fuck it, why not?
Do it right now.
I'm going to be showering.
Right now. No, guys, I actually have to do something now too.
And come on.
Well, let's pause. Let's do it another day. I'm happy to do this another day.
It's an interesting conversation. It's just Mike needs to end where we just wanted to go over and watch the debate. And
Yep. Okay.
All
goodbye.
right.
Cruel
Bye, guys.
world. Okay.
Bye. Love you all.